1523 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
A new Arab chicken is here to stay, and it's not your parents' poultry. The Cantina chicken menu from Taco Bell is slow roasted and perfectly seasoned. Take it tacoed up in a crispy white corn tortilla with cheese inside and out, or wrapped in a burrito with fresh purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. However you like it, you'll never chicken the same way again. Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. There's a chance of seeing some showers south or high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Wet weather continues tonight, mid-40s north, low 50s south, and then showers, a few thunderstorms on Thursday, some with heavy rainfall, highs in the 50s and 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632-1050. Cop CDL Academy, expanding horizons.
You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3.
I mean, there's a better part of 2 hours on sports radio.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. In center field, makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Donay's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague Lodge fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Be with you guys today. Not really. I'm kind of a little bummed out today. Really bummed out, honestly. I brought it up in the end of the first hour yesterday, Matt, about Camden Riley, who was one of the most dedicated Razorback fans that you could ever come across. Someone who coached my daughter for tennis. That would have been, gosh, that's like 7 years ago, I think. Someone that has been in the hog pen for every single baseball game that he's been healthy to be, that he's been healthy for. And been a Bogle for, I think, every softball game that's been played that he's been healthy for. And the same with basketball. That Bud Walton passed away yesterday, unfortunately, succumbing to the battle of cancer. I know Pig Trail Nation had made mention of it yesterday on their show with Courtney Mims. If you're on any sort of Arkansas Razorback social media, I mean, even if you're on a little bit, there's a lot of Razorback fans right now whose hearts are heavy and you know, they're, we're what is it, 16 days, I think, before the start of baseball season. I know Camden would have been there unless this had happened, or unless he had to go to an appointment inside the hospital. But I'm really bummed out about it today, because I got to know him a little bit as a tennis coach, and he had one of these voices that could he's a little guy, Matt. He's like he's smaller than me. He's like 5'6", 5'7", maybe even shorter, but had one of those voices, a little bit high pitched, that could just kind of like cut right through a crowd, an unmistakable voice. And I would sit there listening to him coach the kids, and you could tell he had passion for what he was doing. He certainly had tons of passion for Razorback sports, but I also think he had a passion for life, because I know a lot of people that were battling what he was battling might not have, been out into the bright sunshine of day and put all the energy that he had into living his life. So, trying to spin it into a positive, but it's a bummer of a day today.
Yeah, those coaches, their voice, like when you're talking about coach's voice traveling, I could see that. You can always pick out the coaches in a crowd.
Right. He had one of those voices. He really did. Just kind of, sometimes people just blend in, and other times it is the sort of voice that's deep and cuts through. Camden's voice was not deep. So I know we have listeners whose hearts are heavy. Plenty of people that spend a lot of their time in the hog pen during baseball season. So, you want to celebrate somebody when you get the opportunity to. I feel like we did that, or tried to do that, with Bob Holt a couple of months ago. If you have any memories of Camden or just testimonials about your friend and Razorback fan that you became so close with, or if you just kind of came across him in the hog pen, because he was there with a smile for you. I always knew that. So, we can take those testimonials throughout the show today at 877-377-6963. It would usually be a game day yesterday or a game day today. No Arkansas basketball. Watched a good chunk of that Kentucky-Tennessee game last night while I was making pork schnitzel for the kids for dinner. The one day of the week I think I'm going to be able to cook. And, man... and sometimes we say the idea that you can lose, you get explanations from coaches or players after games. We make explanations the day after. Sometimes we can be accused of turning reasons for why you lose into an excuse. And I think, I would hope that no athlete goes into a game when you're down a couple of your guys or a couple of your best players, and they're not going to be available. That you go into that game feeling, you know what, we can still win this. That's what Kentucky did yesterday. They're down Lamont Butler. Andrew Carr was questionable. He's only out there for a minute. And they still go out and win in one of the toughest places to win in Knoxville, 78-73. So I was, there's no way you're going to be looking past Tennessee, even with the big event at Rupp with Cal coming back with the Razorbacks on Saturday. But, Matt, that Kentucky team, I thought that said a lot about them yesterday. It's a team that is pretty mentally tough, People do like to give reasons for why you can lose a ball game, and they give a lot of reasons why they can win a ball game that I think a lot of other clubs would have lost.
The SEC's a gauntlet, man. You got to be ready to play every single night, or you can get whooped. I wonder – What the SEC, what football, we won 3 conference games. Does this basketball team win 3 conference games?
Ooh, I'm not ready to make a prediction on that.
We're at 1. Where's the next win? Like when's the next 3 are L's, and then so at LSU February 12th, is that our next victory? Like that's the next chance you actually feel like, yeah, I guess we could win that game.
Here's a couple of things to look at from yesterday's games. So A&M beat OU. OU still has just one road win this year. It was the one at Bud Walton on Saturday last weekend. LSU also has just 2 road wins. One of them at K-State, a team that hasn't won a game in the Big 12 yet, and the other at Bud Walton Arena. Thank goodness for Georgia yesterday, because that's the one Arkansas win in the league, and they beat Carolina, and that's the one team that's got no victories in the SEC. So... yeah, I don't know how many wins you're going to see in conference right now, but I do know they'll be playing basketball Saturday. And it's going to be a big event.
Who would have thought that the football team would win more conference games than the basketball team? I mean, nobody would have said, yeah, you know what? I think the football team will win more conference games than the basketball team. How crazy!
I didn't even think to like frame it in those terms.
Well, you get twice as many, almost 3 times as many conference games in basketball. And it's like, whoa. What just happened?
18 conference games in basketball. Only
18 to 8.
Only 8 in the SEC. And it was 3 is still a losing record for football in conference. But at least it was a step forward from the year before. I don't even remember what Arkansas finished in the SEC last year.
The year before we won one, we beat Florida on the road.
Well, I mean in basketball.
Oh, yeah. I think they won 6 games last year. Would they win 6 or 8?
All I know, it wasn't enough to make it to the NCAA tournament. Isn't that kind of what matters?
Yeah.
If you won, hey, last year 6-12, right?
6, yeah.
That would put the idea from right now this year. It all depends on who you win against too. It's not just the number of wins; it's who you win against. I do think it's Mike Neighbors. I think had mentioned it in the post game after the loss against Kentucky on Sunday, and I think there's more than just a nugget of truth to this. It's the idea that you are what your record says you are, but you are what your record says you are against the competition you're playing compared to everybody else, and. That was kind of the argument going into the college football playoff. Records in one league might not necessarily mean the same in another league, but also 2 teams in the same league might play completely different sort of schedules in terms of strengths and weaknesses. Just kind of look at Texas and Florida this past year. So in basketball, it would be the same idea. Yeah, 6 wins, but who? If you find it would be crazy to think about this too. Like, you beat Kentucky, you beat Alabama, you beat Auburn, but you find ways to lose to Missouri and Texas a couple of times. Well, the losses sometimes end up outweighing the wins. I feel that's what happened with Ole Miss this year in football. The loss to Kentucky is what knocked them out. Yeah, but I don't really have a number of wins that there's going to be in this conference for you right now. I just know that hopefully by the time we're in the second weekend of baseball season, they'll have more than 3 conference wins in baseball too, because we play 30, and usually winning 14 or 15 is a difficult thing to pull off.
Yeah, I don't think the football team can hold off the baseball team. That's you might be onto something.
Softball too. Yeah, they play 30 as well. Here's what's halftime on a Wednesday here in the 3rd day of the week. We will be talking with Clay Henry for a couple of hours. He joins us at 12 noon as usual. And Grant Hall coming up in a moment. Plus your calls and texts throughout the show at 877-377-6963. We'll talk with Grant Hall in just a moment, so stay with us.
There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes.
This is halftime.
Second down, the give is to Felix Jones on an end around. Jones to the 30 to 40. Jones in the field. He may go. 25 to 20. 10, 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Felix Jones goes 72 yards.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas. More than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football to NBA, college basketball to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is your number one sports betting source for the new year. From every touchdown to three-pointer and hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
In every generation, there are those who question the status quo. Questions like, why can't chicken be slow roasted? Why can't I have shredded purple cabbage? Why can't my quesadilla have cheese inside and out? And where's my avocado verde salsa? The new era of chicken is here to stay. The Cantina Chicken Menu, only at Taco Bell.
Thanks.
Purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. However you like it, you'll never chicken the same way again. Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
We are last Wednesday of the month of January. So I guess we talked to Grant Hall in February next week. Grant, last time we get you in January. Have you had a dry January, Grant? What's this month been like for you?
Well, I played golf yesterday for the first time in 24 days, and it went out there and parred the first 7 holes from the short tees, you know. So I think I've decided that when you don't play, your bad habits fall out, you know.
24 days would be not playing for you. If I were to play twice in 24 days, that would be a record for me, just for some perspective.
Well, I know Mike Irwin was going stir crazy, too, because of the weather we'd had. He couldn't play, but he played with me, and so we had a good time.
You watching basketball in the middle of the week without Arkansas playing? That Tennessee-Kentucky game was really entertaining yesterday, and I say this, I mean, you really got to give Pope credit. That's a team that is winning games that gets near the hundreds, into the hundreds. They win a game yesterday basically playing very, very good defense. You got to be worried about Kentucky, and I don't just mean Arkansas this Saturday.
Well, yeah, I thought they played really well to win at Tennessee like that. You know, Pope was an ultra competitive player for Kentucky, and he wasn't the most talented guy, but he's one of their best players. You know, when he played, and he's the same way as a coach, I'm sure. So I was kind of thinking toward the end of that game, is it better for Arkansas if they win this or lose this? And I kind of think it's better that they won it even, now maybe that softens them up a little bit. They're going to be expecting to probably blow Arkansas out Saturday night. And it's really interesting I was listening to Calipari the other night talk about anticipating going back there, and he's going to see some friends. He's going to eat with some friends on Friday night, go to Dunkin' Donuts on Saturday morning, and then it'll feel weird for him, being on a different side of the floor. And I don't, the reaction is going to be mixed. I don't think he probably will get booed as roundly maybe as some people think he might, and maybe because Arkansas is 1-6, maybe they feel a little bit sorry. Is any possibility of that, guys, or will he just be roundly booed when he goes in there?
Yeah, I don't know, Grant. That's a good point, because I don't know any team that feels sorry for anybody coming through. 1-6. Where is? Give me 2 more wins. Give me 3 more. Does this basketball team get to 4 conference wins? I don't see it on the schedule. I think LSU's their next chance to win a game. That's Wednesday, February 12th at home. Do you got any chance? You got any faith in this Hog team can win 1 out of these next 3?
LSU. Next 3, yeah, that's a different thing. If you're just talking about overall, South Carolina. Maybe one of the Texas games, maybe. It doesn't look like too many right now. But I mean, they've been in these games basically, and he could have won the one the other night. I thought it was interesting what he said about going to John L. Davis on the last shot. He wanted to infuse him with some confidence. He thought he said the play should have been a dunk. It kind of broke down. Ivisic was talking to us about it afterwards. I'm not sure he understood completely in the noise what they were all going to be doing. I'm still not clear what was supposed to happen there, but I don't think it was a reverse layup prayer attempt that they got,
That's like the season in a microcosm, Grant. Think about it.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you get a guy like Nelly Davis to take that last shot. I'm sure he did it plenty of times at Florida Atlantic, and I'm just forgetting about, moments that he tied a game at the end or a buzzer beater. You got him for that very reason. So that, and I hate to be piling on him, because it's not just about Nelly Davis, but it's just the injury to Boogie. And the idea that we don't know when he's going to play again or if he will play again, it just fits perfectly into the arc of what the season has been like. You started to hear about some injuries before practice even started. Cal's talking about we can't even scrimmage against each other. We're going to be behind the other teams. It's like when you go back and look at some of the messaging, it's not like Cal expected this, but it just fits into the arc of the season.
Yeah, and I tell you, an interesting thing I thought was that I was sitting back there with Ronnie Brewer as he was waiting. He was going to do the last 10 or 12 minutes of the program Monday night, and he was talking back there about Nelly Davis specifically, and how when they have these shooting drills, these 3-point shooting drills, to see who can make the most in a short amount of time, Reed Shepherd, the graduate assistant, always wins those. But Nelly Davis is always second, he said. He makes a remarkable number in a short time. And it's like, I know that Arkansas is hitting just below 25% from 3 in conference play, and he's hitting like 23%. So it's kind of, it's kind of like last year with Poffenbarger on the women's team. We stand out there and watch her hit 10, 12 in a row after the game threes, with nobody on her, obviously, and then just struggle to do it in the game. And if he could ever knock the lid off, I know he had that hand thing earlier, but the Arkansas in the last 2 games has shot 31 and 37% and could well have won both games. I mean, if the final play goes differently, they win both those games just shooting that, which means they're playing pretty good defense and doing some other things. Matt, I agree with you. It's hard to see wins out there, and they just got 8 of them, so it's not like they can start pressing or something. They got what they got, and they got to see what they can do with it.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say about this team is they scrap, they fight hard, they play hard, and just keep trying to learn the game, keep watching film, don't give up. That's what you hope is. I don't know. You just don't want the last 4, 5, 6 games like the football season a couple years ago. Our last 2 home games, you get beat 45-12 in both games. You don't want that. At least they are. At least they're scrapping and they're fighting.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. I think they'll keep playing hard, and if anything, they've got a little bit bigger lineup now that's I know Boogie played really good defense, and he had great numbers and a lot of stuff that he did.
Shoot, Nelly Davis is our best on-ball defensive guard. It's just like, quit shooting so much. But then everybody's like, well, he makes him in practice. And it's like, which I've been around players like that, Grant. I've been around players in practice that you're like, man, you're good. And then you get to a game, and they act like they've never played before. And it seems like it's a little bit too big for Nelly. Like it's in his mind.
Yeah, and you would like to see. I mean, the guy did it. Didn't he get to a Final Four at a different team? I think, isn't that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's in there. Got to get it out of him.
That's what I mean. And we get into this yesterday a little bit about it's difficult to understand or know what to believe when it comes to hype. And sometimes you don't really know what to believe in terms of the. What some people look at in what were poking holes in the hype of a team. But, those who were poking the holes in the hype of the Arkansas basketball team about there just aren't enough bodies, they turned out to be absolutely right about this. Maybe it's a one-off sort of a season where 3 of your best players are either trying to come back from an injury or get injured during the season. But I tell you what, it'd be the last time that you end up having a team with that kind of this kind of roster at Arkansas, at least while Cal's the coach.
Yeah, it looks like they've recruited well and have a chance to get another really good player, I was reading about yesterday. So, yeah, I mean, how many teams that have lost every single player from the year before, now you end up getting Brazile back, but he's kind of struggling right now. And I don't know. I mean, I guess they thought since Calipari had one and dones at Kentucky, and he was reloading every year, but he typically had a few guys come back, even there. So maybe it was an unrealistic expectation. The SEC media bought it because they picked Arkansas 4th at the start of the season, and Arkansas was like 16th in the country at one point early.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of hurts a little bit is you're being told something and then it's something totally different. Hey, the AFC Championship, NFC Championship, they're over. The Super Bowl is set. I know we'll get to talk to you next week too. My early thought is if Philly just has to play the Chiefs and they don't have to play the Chiefs and the refs, wink wink, then I got Philly. What's kind of, I mean, it's the best defense with the best running attack. Those are the first 2 ingredients you want. Now I know it's Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback. He hasn't lost a game in 8 years, it feels like. What is kind of your early thought? And then Andy Reid is the winningest coach in Philadelphia history. We all know the Donovan McNabb gate when he was throwing up in the huddle. But what's kind of your thoughts about that right now?
Yeah, I imagine you could lose a lot of money betting against Kansas City. I mean, I'm kind of with you, Matt. I kind of like Philadelphia in this game, but I mean, I didn't think Kansas City would beat Buffalo, and if they took the measurement for one referee instead of the other one, maybe right. Buffalo.
Well, and that tight end catches the ball. I mean, you think that was a heck of a play by Josh Allen to get that out there to him. You got to catch that.
Well, how about the taking the point off the board that your team earned to go for 2 points, and then you're chasing it the next time, and then after that the other team goes to. So that was a 3-point difference, as it turned out. It would have been a tie game instead of. I mean, you can't really do that. But if you were looking at the game from a certain viewpoint, then I'm sure a lot of people did that. Somebody wrote about that today, I think.
We got 16 days until the start of the baseball season at Arkansas, Grant. Now I can appreciate things about you because you go to nearly all the events. So you're not like a Rogers Hornsby who's just like would say I'd sit near the window looking out waiting for baseball season all winter long. I always people that put that quote up to impress us about how much you love baseball. It's like, hey, Rogers Hornsby was a pretty miserable son of a gun. So you just go see a movie, go do something. I love baseball just as much as anybody else, but I can appreciate the other things in life. But then again, I do get pretty fired up when we're within 16 days.
Well, I actually went to 2 of the inter-squad deals the other day and was impressed. I mean, when you have enough players for 2 teams, you got 5 guys trying to win the first base job, and then Kendall Diggs even who played some infield in high school. They told him a week before these scrimmages, hey, you might be playing first base. So you got things like that. But Rocco Pepe, remember his name? He's from Fresno State. Hit one. He went down and got a low pitch and it didn't even look like he swung that hard, and he got it way out of there in left field. It's interesting. We were sitting there with Bubba and Bubba's 13-year-old son Dalton the other day, and a few minutes later there was Dalton out there in the berm, and he had a chance to catch a long home run by, I believe it was Anderson, but the uphill berm rose up and smacked him, and he went down, and the ball went over his head. But he got the ball, but we gave him all kinds of grief over that,
You didn't just do it. The baseball team used that cut of him falling on his face on their on one of the video highlights from that home run. So I mean, that was there were baseball people across the country that had a little laugh at Dalton's expense. But remember, that's the same kid who caught a foul ball beating 20 other kids for it at the SEC tournament 2 years ago and was celebrated on television for doing it. So it's like, well, yeah, you win some, you lose some, right?
Hey, remember the name. I know he's just 13 years old, but something tells me he's going to be a really good baseball player because he's just lived it growing up. But, it was fun, and I think it's not too hard to say this every year about Arkansas baseball, but I think they've got 4 potential good starting pitchers. Now, I guess we'll see the first weekend, guys. We probably see all 4 of them, and see how they do. I guess is it Washington State, I believe.
That's right. The Cougars coming in. Hey, I meant to ask you this on a text. Might as well do it here. So Albert Pujols' Dominican team that he's managing won the Dominican series. You don't really find a lot of Hall of Famers, the greatest of all time, that turn into major league managers. But Pujols, you think he may end up being one of those people?
I'd love to see it, man. I'd love to see something in St. Louis happen because they're reeling right now. I can't tell that they've done a whole lot in the off season. They're starting to remind me a little bit of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Stop it! Oh, come on.
I don't mean through the last 20 years of baseball history, but
you mean in the last 2 years.
Sound like an Alabama football fan.
That's exactly right. Oh, I've got the smallest violin for you right here, Cardinals fan. Goodness gracious.
Well, hey, listen, when it comes to basketball, from 1958 to 1977, I went to nearly every home game at Arkansas, never went to the postseason. So I have been through this stuff before, not just 1 or 2 years of lean years, so I should have more patience, right?
You should. Yes, you should. Grant, we'll leave it there. I'll probably see you tomorrow at women's basketball. They play A&M, okay?
Okay, sounds good. See you.
All right, that's great. I appreciate Grant Hall being here with us. Notice he immediately pivoted to the real moments where he's had reasons to be miserable as a sports fan. Cardinals fans, come on. Call me in 28 years, all right, if this kind of thing continues. It's just Alabama football fans feel the same way, pretty much. 877-377-6963 to get with us here in halftime. We'll come back with much more after this.
Hey, Phil, I want to talk a little Arkansas baseball because that is my passion. And trust me, I enjoy listening to you on the radio during games. I really do.
This is halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Transform your yard work game with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Experts and nearly 200,000 homeowners rave about Ego's performance. Gas power without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Their patented 56-volt arc lithium battery delivers top-notch torque and fits all 90-plus Ego tools. Power through yard work and tailgates with the same battery. Plus, enjoy Ego innovations like the first fold-flat lawnmower and weatherproof equipment. Discover more at egopowerplus.com.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. The best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Rachel's at Papa's right now. Rachel, what do you think?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
You can check out their menu at papaspub.com. Cricket, how about you?
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Come on by and see us at Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
The Capital One pre-approval sale has been extended at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Troy, the weather a few weeks ago kind of derailed the sale, but you've got it extended now through the end of the month.
Yes, Capital One was nice enough, man. They worked with us, and they extended this sale until the end of this month, the 31st, which is on a Friday. So come and see us, Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford. You know, we pride ourselves in the prices and the deals that we give our customers. You know, we want to make sure you get the best deal on a car, not just with us, not just with the price of the car, but the best deal with the bank that you finance with. And with Capital One giving us this pre-approval sale and allowing us to extend it, you don't just get the best price on the car, but you get the best financing on the car too. So come and see us and let us get you the best deal on a new Ford.
It's the Capital One pre-approval sale only at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Come and see all the details right here. You can always see the inventory online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, they'll stone you when you're trying to be so good. They'll stone you just like they said they would. They'll stone you when you're trying to go home. They'll stone you when you're there all alone. But I would not feel so all alone. Get stoned.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
And in closing my remarks, there's one person that's not here today, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention him. My father was a legendary coach, a great man, but he was an incredible father. And he's impacted me more than anyone in this profession. I know he's looking down on me. I know he's proud. And I miss him very much. But I know what he'd say to me. He'd say, Brian, the easy part is over. It's time to get to work. I love you, Dad. Thank you, everybody that's here. Go Cowboys.
Brian Schottenheimer talking about his father, Marty, who, I remember him as the head coach of the Browns. And
didn't he take the Chiefs to the playoffs?
And the Chiefs and the Chargers. I'd forgotten about the 1 year he coached the Washington Redskins to an 8-8 season, and Snyder fired him after 1 year to go hire Spurrier. That was really early in Snyder's ownership, I think, too, and didn't reflect very well on him. Marty Schottenheimer is, to me, one of the all-time great heartbreak coaches in the history of the NFL. Maybe the greatest coach who's not in Canton. He won 200 regular season games. You know how many NFL coaches have won 200?
7.
He's the 8th. Good guess. I think you knew the answer. Yeah, Don Shula.
Give me too much credit.
George Halas, Belichick, Reed, Tom Landry, Curly Lambeau, Paul Brown, and Marty Schottenheimer. Schottenheimer's the only one who's not in the Hall of Fame outside of Belichick and Reed, and they're going to be making it as soon as coaches are eligible to make it. But here's the difference. It was the playoffs where he didn't have that success. That's where all that heartbreak comes from. You know, with the Browns, he built them into the bullies of the AFC Central for the mid to late 80s and then lost to the Broncos 3 times in the AFC Championship game. This is basically like Sean McDermott with the Bills to the Chiefs. You know, you get a kind of a generational quarterback with Mahomes. You could say the same thing about Elway. Although Elway dominated the AFC about the same amount of time that Mahomes did. They just didn't win in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I was going to say, you made it to 5 of them.
Then they made it 3 times in 4 years. Just like the Chiefs have done. Well, the Chiefs are now doing it, 4 times in 5 years. But they never won it in that time period until, Terrell Davis showed up and Shanahan's coaching the team and they win back-to-back Super Bowls. But he was the reason that Schottenheimer was kind of, let go by the Browns, even though he turned them into one of the best teams in the AFC. Look, the Browns have never been to an AFC championship game since Schottenheimer left. Like, his firing basically coincides with the downturn in the franchise. And then, of course, moving to Cleveland. The Chiefs, he was the coach when Montana was there. They played in the AFC championship, lost to the Bills. I think it was 2 or 3 times that Schottenheimer coached the Chiefs to the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they would lose each time. Never got to the Super Bowl with them.
Christian Okoye,
that's
Steve
right.
Atwater. I'll meet you right there in the A gap. Woo!
That's right. If I'm remembering Derek Thomas, I think linebacker.
Derek Thomas, man, he passed away way too soon. That's right. And Steve Atwater, an Arkansas legend, man, one of the best strong safeties to ever do it up there on the hill. That's who you kind of need when you start thinking about this football team. What kind of? And I know everybody. We're going to have the fisherman Clay Henry on and offensive defensive line. I get it. But you see how many plays Caleb Downs made for Ohio State this year, like coming up and making man. If you have an elite strong safety, you have a chance.
I was looking also with the Chargers with Schottenheimer, and he was the coach there after they had given up on why am I forgetting Washington State head quarterback
Ryan Leaf.
Ryan Leaf, that's right. Gave up on Ryan Leaf, draft Breeze, end up getting LT, LaDainian Tomlinson, and he was fired after a 14-2 record because they lost in the divisional round again to Brady and the Patriots. Look at some of the teams that he's lost to here, generational teams. The Elway Broncos in the late 80s, the Bills of I think the 3rd Super Bowl year that they went in the 90s, and then to Brady and the Patriots, and that's the last time he coached.
Some would say Antonio Gates is a top 3 tight end ever to play the game, and LaDainian Tomlinson's a top 5 running back to ever play the game. So those are he had some elite players.
Well, and they also had Rivers as the quarterback.
Yeah, he's the Dan Marino of our generation.
That's right. Even without playing in the Super Bowl, I think he would be. So, and you can think like, this isn't a segment to make fun of the Cowboys or question the hire or anything like that, because it is an owner's prerogative to hire who he feels is best for the job, even if that's a matter of, I'm just kind of comfortable with who this is because he's been my coordinator and my quarterback might be comfortable with him too. But it's the idea of, carrying on the legacy of the coach, of the father. The thing is, though, is like Marty was a coordinator with the Browns for maybe 3-4 years as a DC, and then became a head coach at age 41. Brian, I think, what has he been in? He's been an assistant in the NFL for over 25 years now, and just now getting this opportunity at age 52 to be the head coach. And it's, look, hey, there's other head coaches in the game that are younger than him, but 52 is sometimes a little bit older than where you get your first head coaching job. And it's the same with Sam Pittman, too. I mean, and I've always thought about, I remember thinking when Sam was hired, like, I'm very interested to see somebody that's been a lifetime assistant that I know, has ideas about how things should be run, taking this and that from whatever coach you've worked for in certain game situations and put it into practice, because you might have been wanting to put it into practice for years. And, it still, feels like at times learning in the game situations with Schottenheimer. It's like the same idea here. All this time he spent on the sidelines of the NFL, and you finally get a chance to put this into practice. Will it work? Who knows? I know I'd pointed to the Steelers hiring first-time head coaches each time that they've hired people since '69. The difference is those were younger people, maybe a little bit more sought after. Noel Cowher was Schottenheimer's special teams coach for years. So they're always hiring younger coaches. This is quite a bit different. James has called us out of Pottsville. Good morning, James. It's good to hear you today. What's going on?
Well, nothing too much. I heard Kendall Diggs made a comment, I think a couple of days ago, about he thought that this Razorback team was one of the most talented that he's ever seen or heard of. And so I just want to get your reaction to what Kendall said.
Well, I mean, Kendall, I think, would have a good sense of the strengths and whatever weaknesses there might be about this team. But that's also within the window of his career, and he's in the 5th year or the 4th year of that career. So, and I'm not saying this, to say that any of the other teams that I've seen are more talented than this team. But, man, it'd be difficult to find a team that might be more talented than 2018 or 2019. I mean, those were two of the, incredibly talented teams that have guys that are playing in the big leagues right now. So I think in Kendall's case, he's giving you his perspective. It's like I always hear, my father's right about this. It's funny when you can ask somebody, who's the greatest quarterback in the history of the NFL? And when you get the answer usually isn't really the truth of the answer. You're just being told how old that person is. Because to me, I always go Joe Montana. That tells you I was a kid in the 80s. I think with Diggs, this is his perspective is what he's giving you. This is probably the most talented team he's been on at Arkansas, but it's just a 4-year period that you could go with there.
Well, I was at the World Series in 2018, and I thought my personal experience is that was the best team I've seen. So, I'm excited about this year's team, so I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. And look, James, they very well maybe they are more talented than 18 or 19. I just haven't watched them up close enough. It's like I kind of knew coming into 18 that it was an amazingly talented club because I saw a lot of those guys the year before. Most of the position players too. It's a different era of college sports we're playing in. So I don't know. Ask me in a month and a half what I think, because at that point we'll see a lot of at-bats and see a lot of innings thrown. James, it's good to hear from you. I appreciate the baseball question. 877-377-6963 to get with this here. Yeah, I think most people now would if you're going on quarterback, best quarterback of all time, you're going to coalesce around Brady. But what about in 10, 15 years when Mahomes has won 6? And then it becomes, well, now you're telling me how old you are, basically. Greatest boxer of all time, greatest heavyweight champion of all time, maybe even the greatest pitcher of all time. Those things sometimes are more about your perspective than about actually like looking on the history of it. 877-377-6963 for any thoughts on that. By the way, back to Schottenheimer for a moment here, Matt. 613 win percentage career in the regular season. He had a 5-13 postseason record.
So kind of like your boy McCarthy, but McCarthy won one, didn't he? Win one with Aaron Rodgers. But It's just so tough. Everybody that's played at that level will tell you it's unbelievably tough to win, and it's really tough to win in the playoffs. And that's the goal is to get there. I mean, once you get into the tournament, you have a chance, but it's a highly competitive environment, and there's only one winner each year. There's only one team that feels like it, and there's still an AFC and NFC champion. There's still two teams that made it to that, but there's really only one winner.
Hey, I want to tell you about Tucker Construction and Remodeling. Mike Tucker and Stowe Ray Construction have joined forces to do everything from demolition, excavation, utilities, tree service, metal buildings, new home construction, and remodeling, to now their biggest investment of all, asbestos abatement. When it comes to asbestos, you need the professionals at Tucker Construction and Remodeling to help you understand what you're dealing with. They'll inspect your property, take care of the removal of asbestos. They have 30 years of experience. They're truly local. Call Mike at 479-650-6453. They serve all of the River Valley, Northwest Arkansas, Branson, and more. That's Tucker Construction and Remodeling. Quick break. We'll wrap up hour number 1 in just a moment.
This is halftime.
Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisaw.
At Central Hydraulic in Fort Smith, the work doesn't just stop when the temperature drops. We're your go-to service provider. Be sure to prep your machine and stay ahead of the frost and costly damage. Still using summer oil? Winter-friendly oil is the weapon your machine needs. Be sure to get an oil change. Check your hydraulic fluid, fuel prep, and battery check. For all these services needed in the cold weather months, come see Central Hydraulic for all your hydraulic needs at 6104 Highway 271 South, or call at 479-646-0571. Central Hydraulic, your service provider.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Ty Richardson for American Patriot Promotions. They have their Mina Gun Show coming up Saturday, February 1st and Sunday, February the 2nd. The American Patriot Promotions Mina Gun Show is located at the Polk County Fairgrounds in Mina. Tickets are just $10 per person and only $8 for veterans, military, police, and first responders. For more information on this event, go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com. American Patriot Promotions is the best avenue for outstanding gun shows.
Old Man Winter is here, bringing cold, nasty weather. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to keep you warm and dry. Insulated coats, jackets, overalls, coveralls, thermal socks, and gloves. For kids, up to men's 4X. Jelco Outdoors has the largest selection of winter boots in the River Valley to keep your feet warm and dry. Need a portable heater? Jelco has plenty of Mr. Heater portable propane heaters and accessories. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors. Stay safe and stay warm this winter. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, your cold weather store.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at WheelerPowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Try to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I feel the earth move under my feet. I feel the sky tumbling down. I feel my heart start to tremble, and whenever you're around, ooh, baby, when I see your face, mellow as the month of May. Oh, darling, I can't stand it when you look at me that way. Hey, I feel the earth.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Robert in Boonville gave us a call just as we went into the last commercial break. Robert, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, when they hired Calipari, I'm going to be honest with you, I was so excited. I told my wife, I said, man, they went out there and got the best coach they could get, and he's going to get the best players. And you can't find anybody when he was getting these players that didn't say, that's a great one, this is a great one. I was so excited, and now I really don't know what's going on, but I tell you what, I'm going to support the team, and I'm going to support the coach until as long as I can. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess you get to decide as when you just can't do it any longer. So it sounds like, you're still watching the games, you're still interested in it, Al.
I am, and now obviously I won't place a bet on them yet, because I do bet on sports and stuff like that. But I have found out one thing, and this is true, that a team on paper is not the reality of what that team is. And I think that's what we got going on in Boonville. Somehow the reality of what they look like they were going to be and the reality of who they are is two totally different things. And I don't have any idea how to fix it, but I'm not going to be one of these people that badmouth them. They are hard to watch, I'll have to admit. But anyway, I'm a Razorback fan, going to be a Razorback fan. I'm a Dallas fan, going to be a Dallas fan, and they stink too. So I don't know what to tell you.
So, well, you don't sound like you're trying to look for anybody to feel sorry for you either, Robert. You're just still going to watch your teams no matter what.
I'm going to watch my teams. I'm going to root for the Hogs. Now, it's probably going with this NIL stuff, it's probably going to get to the point where only rich people can go to the ball game, which I hope not. But that's what it looks like where we're headed.
Well, that's an interesting vantage point there. Robert, I appreciate the phone call. Thanks very much. Yeah, if ticket prices do continue to rise, donation asks continue to rise, it certainly becomes more difficult for sections of society to be able to afford the experience. But I guess it's all just there on your phone or on your tablet, and you got to watch it from the couch instead, though. So I do know some baseball fans that felt like they might have is priced out the right word, and that was the terminology that they used in these cases. So maybe that does change a little bit of the experience too. We go into hour number 2 of halftime, and fisherman Clay Henry will be joining us up until 2 o'clock when Ruskin and Zach carry the baton for the remainder of the day here on ESPN Arkansas. Our calls and texts come in at 877-377-6963, and there'll be much more coming up right after this.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
All right, fellas, let's tackle the age-old question, what do I get her for Valentine's Day? Don't stress. Send foolproof flowers from the Books Company and get 25% off your entire purchase. Books flowers are fresh, vibrant, and last way longer. Some are even grown on the side of a volcano. Don't wait. Valentine's Day is February 14th, so get your order in now. Go to Books.com. Use my promo code CANTY for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code CANTY. Books, promo code CANTY.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. There's a chance of seeing some showers south or high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Wet weather continues tonight, mid-40s north, low 50s south, and then showers, a few thunderstorms on Thursday, some with heavy rainfall, highs in the 50s and 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Donay's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague Lott fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
63. Now here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Welcome back in here on halftime. You're listening to ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Fisherman Clay Henry, Hall of Fame sportscaster and sports writer, joining us for the remainder of the show. You, of course, read Clay in the Democrat Gazette and Whole Hog Sports. And we get him today 16 days before baseball season starts.
3 days before the next basketball game for the Arkansas Razorbacks, and a very good morning, good afternoon now. 1 minute afternoon, Clay. How are you? I don't know if Clay hears me.
Fisherman Clay?
He heard me.
I'm here now.
There he is.
Oh, there he is. All right.
So I had a malfunction at the junction.
Well, it's all right. We got you now. Everything seems to be working.
I can hear
okay.
you.
Yeah,
I can
I hear
hear
you
you.
as well. Good. All right. It's a nice afternoon, Clay. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just I got a little befuddled this morning. I tried to get a haircut, and I guess you have to have an appointment. So I'm just used to going into the hair cutter, and they say, sit down. So I didn't get my haircut.
Kentucky fans must be feeling it today, guys. After their win over Tennessee last night, I see Matt Jones from Kentucky Sports Radio. You remember he opened up the KSR Grill for me to do halftime there on a Friday of the Arkansas-Kentucky baseball series. I appreciate what he does. He put a tweet out. This came about an hour ago. It says, the calls coming in on KSR about the Kentucky-Calipari game are pretty intense. He doesn't even call it the UK-Arkansas game. That's also part of the, I guess, theme that Wildcats fans basically have come in with their opinions on the program right now. So it's been a buildup like for the last few months as far as that game is concerned. Now it's the week that it's actually happening, and now it's within their last opponent. And I just can imagine. I don't know how intense it would feel if it was the other way around. If it was the Cats coming here to play against Arkansas at Bud Walton Arena, but I think they are salivating. And my expectation for Saturday is that there is going to be an appreciation for Cal. Maybe not like putting on the video board about this is what they did here. You remember the montage that was put on the video board at Bud Walton that felt like it might have actually been put together by Kentucky Athletics. I don't think that'll happen there. But I think as the game starts and goes on, I think some of the boos will come out, and maybe by the end of the game, it might be even a little bit louder.
There'll be boos. There'll be taunts. There may be some signs. You didn't think about that, did you? Signs in the stands.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different place. Phil, you've been there, but I don't think you've been there for a men's basketball game.
No,
right?
I've been there for 2 women's basketball games, yeah.
Yeah, and I've probably covered 4 or 5 games there, and including it was it's a silk stocking crowd. It is, when I say that, sports jackets, silk stockings, fancy
the same as they do for the Derby, do they? No, not quite.
No, but it'd be more like a Sunday go to meeting outfit. It's going to be, and the people that have the tickets, they're not, the young rowdy folks. This is an older crowd, and they will have some venom for Cal, but it won't last. I mean, they're going to get into the game, and their jeers and their boos will be more to the referees than they will be to Cal after their initial little salvo or whatever they want to do. He won there. I mean, he didn't win enough of late in the tournament, but gosh, they've been good, and they've got all these great players that are scattered all around the NBA that are Kentucky Wildcats, so they have to be appreciative of that. So I think it'll be a mixed reaction.
Well, Cal sounded like he's expecting for them to break out some of the ammunition. This is what he said the other day.
We're going to have 3 players that played there. My guess is they're going to get booed. My guess is I'm going to get booed. You're all saying, oh, yeah. But that's all part of it. I mean, shoot.
Exactly.
I've done this so long. How could I tell you, I got bazooka holes in my body. So when you shoot arrows, it doesn't even hit skin. It just goes through one of those bazooka holes.
It's like he is probably the most booed coach in all of college basketball during his tenure.
Hey, he was taunted by Dave Van Horn.
I remember the moment.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So that just sort of plays into his experience everywhere else he's gone.
Yeah,
so and it's really not that much different.
Yeah, and if it wasn't that way, then that would be the problem, because it means that they didn't respect him and didn't, he won there.
Is there any coach that lets fans from a road, on a road trip booing them affect them? Like, really, let's be honest about this. If you're a head coach of any sport, if the fans on the road are booing you, you probably appreciate that. It's just a little it's a lot different when the year before and you're being introduced. And keep in mind, like, Kentucky by the end of the season last year was playing well. Even the detractors might have had some sort of excitement about what they thought could be a run in March. I thought they were going to go to the Final Four last year. So, it's a completely different reception from the same people from one year to the next.
Yeah, and I think that probably helps that they're doing well right now and coming off of a big victory. So they don't feel as jilted, or maybe that's not even the right word. That maybe they were just relieved that he left. So there's some mixed feelings about how all that ended up, and now they've got a coach, then they've got good players, and they just won at Tennessee. I wouldn't have picked that a month ago. I think there's excitement too. It's not, they want him to come in there and take a beating. So, hey, might not turn out that way though.
It's like Matt asked, how many games do you think you can win by the end of the year? And I don't really know. I mean, if I were to pick one that you want to win, this is the one. This would be it. You want an upset. It'd be great to happen in front of your own fans, but that would be the way to do it, is for this game on Saturday, for it to actually happen. I just don't know how it happens, because Kentucky is now winning games in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 100s, and just the Hogs' troubles offensively, and heck, I mean, even defensively. How many dunks did Oklahoma have on Saturday? It's just, I can't see it happening, but that's why they play the games, right? We got Charlie with us on hold. Let's take the phone call. Charlie, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm really well, guys. My dad, I told him, I said, he keeps on with this, that he's going to call in here, and I told him, I said, I've been telling him the wrong number, okay, Phil? So I know that when you call out the number, it's correct.
Wait a minute. You actually this is the phone number that you've been calling for the last 4 years, and you gave your dad the wrong number to call in. This might be worse than C-Unit losing his mother's lunch money for the what game was that you convinced her to bet on?
First home, I think it was Ole Miss. I was confident about that game, but then after that, I was like, I wouldn't bet on them until they win a game.
Charlie, just to make sure here, I don't know if Papa Tuna is listening or not. 877-377-6963. You've only been calling it for 4 years.
Dad, if you are listening, I love you, but he was only kidding about that number. But he's really nice. I don't want him to call in and embarrass the Tuna, okay? That's what this is. Well, I know y'all do. This would be awesome for you guys. He is the biggest Matt Jones fan, and I don't want him to call in here and embarrass Matt or anything. Not like Matt hadn't dealt with this before, but I'm like, Dad, please. Look, Matt knows you love him. I've already told him, okay? He doesn't need to know anymore. Everything's cool. Don't do this to me, Dad. But you know how it is, Phil, because I know your dad called in here one time, right? And you did that. I know it didn't embarrass you, but like you don't want him to say something on the air, like, Phil did this when he was little. You wouldn't want him
me on edge. That's for
sure.
I just didn't know what it was he was going to say. That's the problem.
I'm afraid my dad will let a few things out on here that I don't want y'all to know about me. Some things that now he's going to call, and y'all are going to encourage it, I'm sure. Anyway.
It's going to happen.
I'm just going to tell it's happening. But anyway, guys, I was going to say about this game, Phil, anything can happen Saturday. And I think when you go into this game for Cal, look, as thick a skin as he's got, I booing. I'm this way. If I go into a away place, I want them to boo me. That's the way I feel. I don't know how you were, Matt, about getting booed every time you ran and scored a touchdown.
You make sure the next time the Eagles are playing a home playoff game, you wear the opponent's jersey and hat in the link, and see how they treat you.
Probably not so well, but I tell you, it doesn't bother me. And Phil, I know for you, you've been around this too for a long time, and called a lot of games. I'm sure boos don't bother you either. Clay, I would highly
if
doubt
someone's
that
booing the radio announcer of the opponent, they have bigger issues than anything that I have to worry about.
I don't
Clay,
think I've
I'm
ever
sure
been
you-
booed. I don't think I have. I mean, I don't
Never.
think. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever been in a position where somebody knew who I was and that I'd done something to make them want to boo me. So I'm probably in good shape in that regard.
Now, Charlie, I got heckled once, but it was on the tarmac at the Auburn. It wasn't even the Auburn airport because it was in Columbus, Georgia. The Auburn baseball team had beaten Arkansas 2 out of 3. I got a rental car, so I'm the last one to get there, and you know how much I hate that. They see somebody wearing a Razorback. These people, by the way, had driven an hour from Auburn just to do this, and as I'm walking out onto the tarmac, they're shouting War Eagle at me. I mean, these were people that drove an hour to heckle the radio broad. They didn't realize I was, but I thought to myself, this is a lot of effort for something that's just very small.
Oh, yeah. And I know Chuck's gotten it too, but Clay, are you sure Texas fans haven't thrown a few things at you every now and then?
I don't think they know who I am. So, I mean, if they did it was just because they were doing it to everybody. It wasn't me specifically. I'm pretty low key. I mean,
Y'all have a good one, man. Dad, don't you call in here. Have a good one.
Thanks, Charlie. He's referenced his mom many times on the show. This is the first time that Charlie's referenced Papa Tuna.
No, there was Tuna Senior.
877-377-6963. Please do it. He was worried about his dad embarrassing. He was like, Charlie, you can embarrass yourself on a daily basis. It's okay. I do the same thing. Dan reminds us LSU fans throw beer bottles and batteries. They did. Again, I got heckled by drunk LSU fans after Arkansas lost there at Tiger Stadium 2 years ago. It was a 6:30 kickoff, so they had the very special cheer that you hear. Something about a tiger. Yeah, they gave that to the pregame show host too. It's like, all right, maybe it might be time to call an Uber or just walk home, see if he can make it. Micah and Harrison said that the crowd at Rupp is a cotillion crowd. That's a fantastic explanation of a crowd.
Yeah, I mean they're loud. I mean, you put 24,000 people in an arena, it's gonna be loud. But it's not as loud as when Bud Walton's rocking. It's not. But it will be rocking for this game. There's no doubt.
The cotillion crowd is everybody wearing a nice, crisp suit, got their clip-on tie, sitting there in the aisle seat. Yeah, make sure that you know where the fork goes. The salad fork and the actual dinner fork are two different things, and make sure that the glass is set up to the left of the plate and everything, and make sure that you do your dance steps just so. And I did not do cotillion, but I had a lot of friends that did.
Your pinky goes out.
Ooh,
you're drinking the tea.
I just do that because it's comfortable to do it, I guess. 877-377-6963. That's exactly right. Hey, get over to Joe's Grilling Cantina. They got specials going on all week long. Today is Nacho Average Wednesday. You get $1 off all the nachos. Includes the 3 cheese carnita nachos and $1 off all beers, draft or bottles, all day long. Dine in only at Joe's Grilling Cantina today. Tomorrow's Throwback Thursday with the Ultimate Margarita, the featured drink. They'll have a rotation of Cuco's classics. And again, that's dine in only for the daily specials at Joe's Grilling Cantina. Find them at 74th Street, Fort Smith, right across from Harps, and online at joesfortsmith.com. Back with more halftime right after this break.
This is halftime.
We are here at Bud Walton Arena, where it is about as loud as a building could get. The loudest arena to start a game I've ever been in.
This is a hard place. You don't come here expecting to win. Let me tell you that.
The name, the brand, the identity that he brings to a program that has a storied, rich tradition
an outstanding fan base in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Wes, how many people can a large pizza feed?
About 4.
So I should tell Cousin Jeff 1.
Oh, wow. He's a big eater.
The biggest? He once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat diner because they ran out of food. How many can a small pizza feed?
I'd say 2.
Our small pizza at $15 is a meal for 2? We should advertise this. That goat'll hunt.
Dog.
What you call me?
That dog will hunt.
Wes, dogs are man's best friend. Goats are the true hunters.
Goats?
Billy Goat Jr.'s Grammy was trained to chase squirrels, cats, birds, and rabbits. We could hear her for miles through the brush. And she'd circle them right to us.
You're not serious.
As serious as a meal for 2 for $15.
You're an interesting cat.
What you call me?
A meal for 2 for $15. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
At Hug Chevrolet Buick GMC, we dial 782-8940.
This is Joe Calderera with Taliano's Restaurant. We call 782-8940.
Keep warm this winter with a York high-efficiency furnace. Or for more information on endless hot water and a high-efficiency tankless water heater, give Blaylock Heating, Air, and Plumbing Services a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text our used bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at WheelerPowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Try to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
It's that time of year. Longer nights and colder weather can mean higher energy bills. But Arkansas Oklahoma Gas wants to help you save on your energy costs this winter. A healthy heating system equals a happy home and wallet. Ensure it runs efficiently by scheduling regular maintenance with a licensed technician. Adjust ceiling fans to spin clockwise to help push warm air down. Keep your thermostat on a lower setting, health allowing, and layer up on clothing. For more money-saving tips, visit AOGC.com/winter.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936. Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
She had a house. She was a fighter. She was a queen. Had a blue. She was a queen.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Got an event later today at the Hunt Center for some of the sponsors for baseball. So we'll get a chance to hear DVH. I think we're touring around the Hunt Center a little bit. I'll have Bubba there. We're not going on the air or anything. By the way, Bubba's at the Hogs Illustrated Luncheon tomorrow. I think Coach Deifel is there too. So, yeah, I frightened him earlier today, Matt. It's like he called me up. Because it's funny with Bubba sometimes. He always wants to know what time I'm going to get to the ballpark, knowing full well I'll get to the ballpark at the same time every game. You going to batting practice today would be the next question. So today, I don't know if he wanted to coordinate outfits, but he asked me what I was going to wear. It's not the normal question that one gentleman asks another when you're just going to a baseball park, but I guess we're going to coordinate our outfits today. You and I have to do that at some point, Matt. I don't think I can fit into your clothes.
I'm pretty standard fit, man. T-shirt and pants, ball cap. I don't really.
You and I already dress like each other.
That's about to say. That's about it for me.
I just don't do the bandana around the beard. That's all.
Well, it just gets in the way of my soup.
You know, you guys, the three of us, we did a remote together on a stage in a parking lot at Summit, Arkansas, at Allen's Grocery, and we were not color coordinated. We clashed, and nobody cared. Do you think anybody cared what we were wearing that day?
Well, Bubba cares what I'm going to be wearing today.
I know, yeah.
I could treat it like cotillion. It will be a cotillion crowd thing at the Hunt Center. I'll put on my crisp suit. I'll put on my shiny shoes. I'll have to go find a pair of white gloves, Matt. By the way, what was the name of that song you just had played for us?
Yeah, that's White Gloves.
That's
your cotillion song.
You never know when Matt's actually going to find a song that perfectly fits something we were just talking about or we're about to talk about. But the white gloves are just for the ladies. It's not a guy's thing. I guess I'll have to do my hair if I'm going to wear a suit to this thing today. You know, shave maybe, actually have like a clean face. I don't like any.
Nobody will know you.
No, they really won't.
So who is that guy?
I haven't worn a tie to a Razorback game since I can't even tell you when. I think the last time I did is I was filling in for Chuck when Coach Anderson was still the coach, and I had to fill in to go on a trip to Minnesota with Zim, and I'm thinking it's like Zim wears a suit, and this was before everybody dressed down for basketball, or a lot of people dressed down for basketball. And there was nobody, and might still not be anybody in the sport that's better dressed than Mike Anderson. And I remember it's like, well, I'm going to have Zim sitting next to me for the game. Coach A will be there for the post game. I better look as good as I possibly can comparatively to these, really just to Coach A more than anything, because that guy is as dapper as
you want to just kind of blend in, don't you?
Well, I wanted to blend in. I don't know if I actually did.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like I'm naked when I'm wearing a suit. Just as these things don't go together.
So there's a picture that was sent to me from, I guess it would have been 88 or 89 from the Cotton Bowl, and it had a picture. You know, they did this really cool thing at the Cotton Bowl. They would have a photographer, and he would go down, you know, the first row of the press box and shoot groups of three. You know, in other words, the person that you're sitting beside, he would get three people, then he'd move along and get three, and he'd have pictures of, you know, the whole press box, and they would send them to you. Well, anyway, there's one of these pictures, and it's got Bob Holt and my dad sitting next to each other, both wearing a tie.
I remember that photo, yeah.
I sent that to you, yeah. But that's the way we used to dress in the press box. And then somewhere along the way, it was blue jeans, and then somewhere a little bit later, it's shorts and sneakers. And there'll be some people that occasionally will come, and they're wearing T-shirts and shorts, and I've seen people come in with their Birkenstocks. Other than Nate Allen, that's not counting. Nate always wears Birkenstocks. But
he started that look before it got popular.
Yeah, it had something to do with his heels and, you know, the arch support you get in a Birkenstock, and it was medicinal more than it was the look. But now he just rocks the look.
Kind of coincides with. Wasn't there a time where you're going on a flight, like the family, or you're flying somewhere? You were dressing up for it. I mean, maybe not a suit and tie or anything, but you were going to look good.
Not
Now
sloppy.
it's
Yeah.
Wear whatever you want to wear to the airport. And it's
You
still
gotta have-
really good.
You got to
people
have
watching.
breeches that say "juicy" on it if you're going to the airport.
And only on one spot. It
Oh
can
my
only be on the
goodness.
back.
Like, put some clothes on, and please cover your feet up.
Juicy and pink. It's going to be the color pink, and it's going to have juicy right on the back. That's where all that goes. Yes, and please put socks on and keep them on, both in the press box and in the airplane. Maybe we can just have a thing where you dress the same in press boxes as you would the airplane. Nobody in press boxes is taking their shoes and socks off.
There's another rule about socks: change them daily. I mean, I've known some guys, and it's like, man, we've been on this trip. We were at the bowl game. You've worn those same socks because they're unique. You know, like they had some kind of designs on them. You wouldn't have more than one pair of those. I said, you're going to have to go to the store and buy you some more socks because you're not going to wear those socks 3 more days. It's the only socks they brought. But we got that fixed.
Thought Lieutenant Dan had something about that too, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure he was the one to make sure you change your socks more than you think you should. 16 days before baseball, I was going to read this report coming from D1 Baseball's Joe Healy, he focuses on just the SEC for D1 Baseball. This is a quote. In the big picture, there are few programs in a healthier place than this one. It has stable leadership, very little off-field drama seems to emanate from the program, and the faithful pack into Baum-Walker Stadium by the thousands. Have there been some disappointing endings in recent seasons? Sure. But to use those data points as an impetus to make changes to an otherwise excellent program would be foolish and would represent taking for granted the consistency Arkansas enjoys from year to year. There's been other quotes in D1 Baseball that calls Arkansas a recruiting machine and has been for a long, long time. It's just there's always that one thing in the back of it. Now, it's not necessarily this year is all about winning a national championship, but it really feels like, and look, you go in every year wanting to get to Omaha, but with losing in the regional at home the last 2 years, that really stings. That stings so much. I mean, it would sting to go on the road and lose a regional, but when I think the team has lost, maybe 2 series at home in the regular season each of the last 2 years, and then lost in the regional at home too. It's, that's the point of pride, is to play well at home, to win at home. And look, I think this team will be good enough, hopefully, to get a top 8 or at least a top 16 and play the regional at home. You got to get out of it this year. But it seems like that's such a long way off, doesn't it? Because it is. That's like June.
I think postseason in baseball is about rhythm and timing. And you can have teams that played really well in the regular season and they're out of juice. You mentioned juicy. They get to postseason and they don't have it. And then you have other teams that got knocked around during the regular season and they get to postseason and they do have it. And we saw a North Carolina State team that you didn't want to play and a TCU team the last 2 years you didn't want to play. But it's, I think that this is going to be a good Arkansas baseball team. Everything that I've seen, everyone that I've talked about, that they got, by and large, most of the players that they wanted in the portal. They've recruited well. They've got a complete pitching staff, not just one star and a bunch of other guys. They have got an elite pitching staff. Now, it's all got to come together. They don't know their roles yet, do they, Phil?
No, I mean, I think it feels like guys will slot in certain spots.
Yeah.
Now, I do wonder if there might be competition for one of the starting jobs, because Gage Wood has shown, I think, at times that he can be an SEC starter, and you do have the 2 guys coming in from other programs that I think would have been aces where they are, but I think that speaks to the level of experience on that starting staff and stuff. So I think Gage could be a starter for a lot of teams in the SEC, but I think he'll have to, compete for it here.
And he's going to get innings. I mean, that's without question, and that's what he does. He'll get you, 10 or 15. He might get through the lineup twice. There's some guys, they're not getting through the lineup twice. They may not get through it once, and that's all you need from him. But he's got several pitches. Phil, I'm still trying to figure out, how they're going to do this as far as, what they're going to do with Kendall Diggs. They've had him at first a little bit. Maybe he's a DH. Maybe he is a right fielder. I don't know. But I think that's an important decision that they're making right now.
Yeah, it is. And I think if it's open competition at first base, but for what I'm looking at now, it feels like you're kind of coalescing around Rocco Pepe and Kendall Diggs. One's a right-hander, one's a left-hander. So if you need to, you can mix and match. You can platoon, potentially. And that could also open up, right field for, I think Souza's got to have a place in the lineup as long as he's hitting. That's the first thing. He swings and misses, strikeouts, then you're not going to be in the lineup very much.
Move away from that, yeah.
Exactly. But if he can hit like I know he can and has shown flashes of, then that bat's got to be in the lineup every day. Now, there's a lot of outfielders I think that are really good on this team, probably about 4 or 5 that could start. So that's not even what these next couple of weeks are about, because that to me is what the first month of the season is about. That's where the roles really start to come into play, or as Dave will say and a lot of coaches will say, the players will sort of make the lineup out for the coach, or at least show him who should be in that lineup. That's what that first month is about.
The bet is around the SEC that Dave will figure it out as well as anybody will. That's what he does. I mean,
absolutely.
He is so good at identifying roles and putting guys in a chance to show him, can they do it or can they not? And he'll give them chances, but he's going to – and I've got a few guys around the league that I talk to, and they think this is a good Arkansas bunch. But they're still – it's identifying roles. And the thing that hurts you – in baseball so often is that you figure out your roles, and then you get a week before conference play or even the week of conference play or the second week, and you get 3 or 4 injuries, and it's like, okay, now we're playing guys that we didn't get ready. And that's the tough part about college baseball. And you see it every year. It'll happen to basically half the team that they've got to re-figure it out once they're in the conference season.
Just a couple days left to enjoy the specials at Fish City Grill at South Bellevue Road in Rogers. Yellowfin tuna tacos grilled to perfection with avocado sauce and smoky pico de gallo. Comes with jalapeno rice. Grilled barramundi with crawfish tails and cream, crispy okra, and served on fluffy cornbread. They've had it all month long. Got it just for another couple of days at Joe's Grill and Cantina. At Fish City Grill in Rogers. We get our mesh restaurants mixed up every once in a while. That's Fish City Grill in Rogers, 479-636-8833 to get your curbside pickup or delivery. You can go online and make an order at fishcitygrill.com. We'll break. More halftime after this.
This is halftime.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAVEL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This is halftime.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football to NBA, college basketball to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is your number one sports betting source for the new year. From every touchdown to three-pointer and hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
In every generation, there are those who question the status quo. Questions like, why can't chicken be slow roasted? Why can't I have shredded purple cabbage? Why can't my quesadilla have cheese inside and out? And where's my avocado verde salsa? The new era of chicken is here to stay. The Cantina Chicken Menu, only at Taco Bell.
Twas love tonight. The sky was open, tight. On the Lucy light, where wishes fall. Like Shakespeare's child, I wished on them all. Happy your destiny, it's all that I pursued. I could feel the sights from the lofty heights, but my heart is scared of you. I was looking for you.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry with us as well, as usual, on a Wednesday. Calls and texts on halftime at 877-377-6963. Matt, did we just have our first? This last college football season was the first with direct communication in the helmets, right? From coaches to quarterbacks, and the one player on the defense could have the helmet communication. It was a big deal, of course, after the Connor Stallions deal with Michigan. So that's been 1 year we've had that, right?
You think they would do anything like that in basketball? Put a little earpiece in the point guards where the head coach or the head coach is right there. They can hear, you can hear them yelling the whole time anyway.
Well, at that point, I mean, it's all about secrecy, right? We can just sort of.
We got to talk more on defense. Like if you're going to be a good college basketball team, if you're going to be a good basketball team, you have to communicate. You have to talk. You screen left. hey, block out right, watch your bet. You got to continue. I don't think we communicate enough. And although our defense kind of, I mean, if you were to say what is our best thing, at times we give effort on defense.
Well, and I think defensive breakdowns lead to dunks, or turnovers, at the wrong spot lead to wide open dunks. It's just I kind of lost track of how many times that happened against OU. And I mean, look, they played well defensively to a point, but there's too many easy buckets right at the
ball
rim.
In transition. There's 3, 4, 5 times a game we don't stop ball in transition. It's like that's the first you pick up but you stop ball. It's one of the first things you're taught.
Doesn't matter who your man is, somebody got to
stop
the ball.
That's right.
Yeah, that's young players. I mean, it's like they've got some veteran players, but they also play some freshmen, and it's like you can see them thinking. Every game, it's a little better. There's a few more things that seem like are getting fixed with regularity. In the pick and roll, they play it pretty good. Early this year, they didn't, but they look like they understand, and they'll switch, and then they'll re-switch after they set the defense. They're really good at once the ball gets stopped, they can hand off men and get the matchups right again. They're really good at that, and that's not easy to do. That takes a lot of work and a lot of timing to understand. I can leave my man and get back on the post inside and let that guy go cover a guard.
That's and when you're talking that pick and roll, they were hitting that slip on us a lot. And you're right, the guy that's guarding the post or whoever's protecting the rim, you have to stand up, you have to come up to deny that where he go, and then you slide back. And when you're the best player on your high school basketball team, Clay, most of the time you're not asked to really guard the other team's best player. You get to play help defense, and you just get to go play offense. And so I think you're right that a lot of these kids are learning how to play defense for the first time.
They don't want you to get in foul trouble covering another guy's best team. We'll give up fouls with another guy that's on the ball.
Well, for me, that's how you're going to win games. It's defensively. It's just not enough firepower right now on offense. There just hasn't been.
And the other part of it, you say, well, you got to get them open shots. The team with the best shots generally wins. And I was taught that as a young reporter, to judge. Bill Connors taught me, and he says he would write down what he called quality shots. He just made little stick marks on one side or the other of his notebook. And he's like, this is a team that got open shots and layups. This is the team that didn't. And you look at the shooting percentages, and it jumps out at you what the difference is. And then you start to kind of watch the game a little bit differently. And it's because of defense, the team with the best shots wins. But that's not been the case for this team, because I thought there were a lot of times he was getting the guys that he wanted to shoot good shots, and it's been Nelly, and it's been Boogie, and it's been different guys.
You keep thinking games. Wagner's going to be a little more efficient.
Yeah, but now that he's taken the load on the point guard, that he's covering the other guy's best defensive player, and he can't switch off with Fland on that. Sometimes it's like, well, I'll cover him for half the game and you cover him for half the game, and that's what they do. But he's going to wear down, and I saw Lee Mayberry the same way, working so hard on defense, and then he's got to handle the ball. You can't expect him also to score a lot, because his legs just won't be there for his jump shot. But he's a good player, and I heard the discussion. Well, he's a 5-star and he ought to be scoring more than that. It's just like, well, what is his role? He's a good teammate. He's a good defender. He's doing a lot of things that you say, well, I'm glad he's on our team.
Mm-hmm. He would be like, if you were to roll the ball out there, Clay, and you're like, all right, who's your first pick? It's either 3 or 21. I mean, that's my first
Probably
pick.
so, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Fland would have been ahead of Wagner, but he's not there now. So it's like, what is his role? And that's the tough part, is that they're still defining roles because of the injury.
It's not a fear. I was about to say fear, but here's what I think it is: the same idea as with the baseball team last season. You keep waiting for guys to come out of a slump. You keep waiting to see the sort of production that you expected and that the coaches kept telling you was there, and it never came. And at some point, you just are what you are. After a certain amount of games,
Without
after a certain amount of time, you are what you are. And I think that's what Arkansas basketball is right now.
Yeah, they're going to be a grinded-out team.
They have to be a grinded-out team to win. Lowest field goal percentage, lowest three-point field goal percentage in conference games. I just don't know if that changes. It doesn't mean you can't win games. You just got to find a different way to do it and to grind them out. Kentucky's a tough team to grind down. Tennessee is built that way. That's the style of play that they run. I don't think that's what this team was built to do. They got to figure it out on the fly. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. Always brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma, dealership that serves our listening audience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for over 7 decades. Crabtree RV Center at the junction of I-40 and I-49 right beside the Cracker Barrel, helping your family with the best experience to choose the right RV for your adventures. Everything you need in between right there on site, the service and parts department as well. CrabtreeRV.com to get started. And we're back to wrap up the second hour of halftime right after this.
This is halftime.
The Capital One pre-approval sale has been extended at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Troy, the weather a few weeks ago kind of derailed the sale, but you've got it extended now through the end of the month.
Yes, Capital One was nice enough, man. They worked with us, and they extended this sale until the end of this month, the 31st, which is on a Friday. So come and see us, Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford. We pride ourselves in the prices and the deals that we give our customers. We want to make sure you get the best deal on a car, not just with us, not just with the price of the car, but the best deal with the bank that you finance with. And with Capital One giving us this pre-approval sale and allowing us to extend it, you don't just get the best price on the car, but you get the best financing on the car too. So come and see us and let us get you the best deal on a new Ford.
It's the Capital One pre-approval sale only at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Come and see all the details right here. You can always see the inventory online at harryrobinson.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
If you live near Alex, Alma, Branch, Bloomer, Mountain Burg, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect Internet may be available to you right now. Wave is now serving a few non-member areas and adding more in the coming months. Check availability online. Sign up.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
We expect our information in real time. US Med carries continuous glucose monitors, which provide real-time readings of blood glucose levels. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 500 private insurers. So call 888-665-0696 today for a free insurance and Medicare benefits check as easy as... That's 888-665-0696.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Baby, there's nobody but you. Charms to revel where the wind blows. Stay gentle, sweet love, be like you used to be. Light up the night more than the stars above me. Lays on easy corner, shines in the dust. Stand still, star between us. But honey, honey, honey,
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
It's GA2.
Back on halftime here, Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry with us as well. Matt, today is the anniversary of the first ever NBA All-Star Dunk Contest. 1984, January 29th at McNichols Arena in Denver.
Larry Nance? Who won the first
Larry
one?
Nance, exactly right. That's well done, man. That's not the easiest trivia question in the world. Larry Nance was the champion, and he beat, in the championship round, Ralph Sampson, all 7'4" of him, Orlando Woolridge, Chocolate Thunder, Daryl Dawkins, and Dr. J.
Ooh. Man, that's spicy right there. I like that.
That's basically guys that were all-stars, you know? They did it differently back then.
If Ja Morant, Zion Williamson, Ant-Man, and Malik Monk, if those four were in it, I think we'd all be like, man, I want to watch. I want to see what NBA
electricity.
Talent, yeah, I want to see what NBA talent can do. I don't want to see an N1 mixtape. You know, we'll go do that. Go to Rucker Park if we want to see that. I want to see NBA guys.
Who's the best dunker you ever saw, man?
Dominique
in
Wilkins.
person. That's what I was going to say. I saw him. It had to have been 81, 82, right in there. And Georgia played at the Mabee Center at ORU. And the referees weren't out there.
Phil.
Yeah, the referees weren't out there yet. And Hugh Durham just pointed to him like, they're not out here. And he threw down a couple of dunks in warm-ups, just layup line. And, he's the visitor. He's not the home team guy. And the place just erupted. And, boy, the referees popped out. They knew exactly what was going on. They could hear it in their dress. Not supposed to dunk in warm-ups.
Not anymore. I think you can now, but, yeah, back
then.
Yeah,
you can put your hands on the rim.
Can't bring it down, yeah.
But you can't snap it free. They don't want to have to replace a goal in pregame.
Dominique won the dunk contest twice, Matt, 85 and 90. I mean, there's some of the list of some of the players that won this thing early. Nance, Dominique, Spud Webb,
That's
MJ,
kind of like Nate Robb.
MJ won it back-to-back years, 87, 88.
Did
Kenny
Dr. J win
Skywalker, Dominique Wilkins again, D. Brown, remember the Reebok pump with the no-look jam, Cedric Ceballos.
Isaiah Ryder.
Harold Miner won it twice. Baby
J.
Jordan. That's right. With the bald head playing at USC.
There's your boy Muss right there making an appearance today.
Brent Barry.
Oh, he had his starter
Barry.
jacket on and still went from the free throw line with the warm-up jacket. Gangster.
Kobe. Vince. And then the kind of the list kind of changes a little bit from then.
Vince Clay, my second would be Vince Carter behind Dominique Wilkins.
Pretty good. Yep. I wouldn't argue that.
The first ever NBA dunk all-star con, because the ABA did it first, and Dr. J was the winner of that. I think that was 76.
That's what I was thinking about. Sorry.
Yeah, that was the ABA that did it first. They did the three-point thing first, too. Maybe that was basketball a little bit better.
Multicolored basketball, yeah.
Stay with us. Third hour of halftime is right after this.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Looking to upgrade your boat? Now's the time with Honda Marine Buyer's Choice Sales Event. Choose up to $2,000 in instant savings or a 36-month Honda Care Protection Plan. That's extra coverage worth up to $44.60 included at no extra cost. This offer applies to all new 40 to 350 horsepower Honda Marine outboards now through March 31st, 2025. Don't miss this limited time deal at Heartland Honda Power Sports Marine in Springdale. Save big or get extra peace of mind. The choice is yours. Visit Heartland Honda Power Sports Marine today. Exit 72 from I-49 just north of Cracker Barrel.
Has your spouse suddenly entered the transfer portal, going from a franchise player to a prima donna ready to take the money and run? Don't let her get away with a huge buyout. Be proactive and call Mock Legal Solutions today to ask about custody, alimony, and child support. 479-769-1505. Because even in divorce, the best offense is a good defense. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
I think we should start seeing other people.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we will be in and out of the clouds. There's a chance of seeing some showers south or high in the upper 50s to low 60s. Wet weather continues tonight, mid-40s north, low 50s south, and then showers, a few thunderstorms on Thursday, some with heavy rainfall, highs in the 50s and 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Cop CDL Academy. Call them today at 479-632.
Here's Jones on a keeper. Out over the 40 to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field. Makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Zonet's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague Lott fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. It's our third and final hour on halftime, a minute after 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I am Phil Elson. My partner is Matt Jones, Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry with us. And you can read Clay, of course, in the Democrat Gazette and Whole Hog Sports, or hear him on the various shows here on ESPN Arkansas. Got Christian Johnston in the producer's chair. Were you were on Chuck and Bo this morning, right, Clay?
Yeah.
With a birthday boy, right?
Yeah, and I've done this before. They had me read rap lyrics, and I did a 50 Cent tribute to Chuck. It's his birthday.
Well, if you're just reading them, I think that's called a poetry slam. So
that was what I was doing.
It's Clay's poetry slam on Chuck.
With
Happy
with a
birthday,
little background.
Chuck.
Yeah. He. Somebody called in and said happy birthday, and Bo says it's not his birthday. Well, it is. Bo didn't know.
Some people are very discreet about
Let's
this.
keep it under wraps.
I call them birthday ninjas. They just don't want anybody to know about it because they're just not into celebrating themselves much. And then there are the other folks where it's like you got to have 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after, and it's like a birthday glow of 4 weeks long.
Yeah, I had my 70th this summer. I think there was stuff still happening 3 weeks after my birthday. You know, like I went out west, and my birthday's already been celebrated. Somebody says, "Now we're doing it again," and I think maybe that's what you do when you get the 70th.
Boy, am I glad you didn't do poetry slam on my birthday a couple of weeks ago.
We
We
can
didn't
still
have
do
you
it.
on. It was the day after. It was the day before you came on with us 2 weeks ago. So we'll maybe a poetry slam for next year for when I turn 49.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a rapper, but yeah, I'll do
You're
that.
kidding.
Poetry, yeah. Robert Cox, retired tennis coach, texted me right after that, and he goes, "Man, you're the White River rapper. That's what we're going to call you." Never mind, I live on the North Fork, but it's a better ring. White River rapper is a good ring.
Matt, I was brought back to some of the dunk contests that I had with one of my great friends, who is celebrating a birthday today as well, Mo Letterman in Pittsburgh. This would have been early 90s when the dunk contest was incredibly popular. And I think it is now. It just, it doesn't mean to me what it did 35 years ago. And he had the adjustable hoop because neither of us was taller than 5'10", and couldn't palm a basketball, so it was mostly two-handed slams. But there's a couple of VHS tapes somewhere in Mo's basement that will actually have real video evidence of me dunking, but I can't even get to the rim on like a 10-foot hoop. So this thing must have been lowered pretty heavily. Ryan in Prairie Grove remembers Brandon Dean doing the college dunk contest and breaking out the Superman T-shirt right after that. See, that's one of the things you got to do to stand out. You got to do something that's creative. The word. It was like, remember when Dwight Howard, broke out the Superman costume. Or it's the same idea with D. Brown when he, pumped the shoes and covered his eyes. You got to do something that stands out. Dean did that.
Yeah, it's showmanship. It's like that's just part of it. And I've seen some of the stuff where you're dunking over people and people on back of people. I don't need all that. I mean, just throw it down and have a little twist to it. Yeah.
Well, Dean was exciting to watch.
He's the last Arkansas Razorback team to win the SEC tournament, right? Brandon Dean was a part of that team.
Yeah, he was. Joe Johnson, Teddy Gibson,
Blake Edens.
We don't count Blake.
Yeah, that's right.
Blake is. I got tickled. Blake was as good a quote as there was, and we talked about the red-white game one year, and I went to him for quotes. I was coaching it, but I wrote a little story about it, and he critiqued the guys on the other team, and he said one of them was a vampire, that he didn't come out at night, and which is a great line. It's like if we have a day game, he's okay. Or maybe it's the other way around. He could play night games but couldn't play day games. was Saturday afternoon game. And I wrote that, and Nicky came up to me about 3 days later. He goes, man, he says, I didn't like that. And then Blake came over. It was after practice, and he goes, I got in trouble for that. I said, who'd you get in trouble with? He says, Nolan. Nolan told him. He says, if you're scoring 2 to 3 points a game, you don't give quotes. Told that to Blake.
Nobody wants to hear the smartest person on the team if he's not one of the better players on the team.
You know, the locker room was open. It was open for your time, wasn't it, Matt? Didn't we come in and talk to you? Yeah. And you'd go in and there'd be, a bunch of people standing around the guy that scored 23, and Blake's over there, and he goes, man, don't come over here. He says, I don't want anybody to see me giving a quote.
It's just so odd situations there. It's like people that are waiting for you to either step away from your locker or to turn around so that, you're giving them some of their attention. I was reading, I forget who the writer was in The Athletic. He's writing about Josh Allen in the locker room after their loss to the Chiefs this past weekend. And, it's a guy that's like standing there taking notes, watching a quarterback who just had his heart ripped out again, and is just, jotting down notes on every single motion that he made. And he did that for 15 minutes. Just like he just literally stood there, and I'm sure he wasn't the only one doing this, standing there watching somebody staring into a locker and writing about it. But, I can understand why Allen would have felt like that. It's just weird for somebody to be watching it.
Yeah, he in the guy's defense, what he's doing, he's trying to paint the picture of how awful that was to lose that game.
Well, nobody paints that picture if you're just getting quotes from a press conference either.
Correct.
It's like somebody stands there and has their ready-made quote, and usually they may have a ready-made quote in front of a locker too. It's just you get more of a picture just for the idea this person is staring off into space for 15 minutes.
Yeah, the memories of the worst things I ever saw in the locker room. So, and Matt would have been this is right down your alley. When quarterbacks, when they come in, they all run. There's 10 guys that run into you, right, Matt? I mean, you're taking your pads off, and there's 10 people trying to talk to the quarterback. Especially,
it happens quick.
Yeah, and I would just skip the quarterback. I would wait, and I'm sure you remember, Matt. I mean, you're just about done getting dressed, and then I show up for about 5 minutes. And
but it allows the person to take a breath.
Yeah.
You really need 20. Coach Del Rio was really good about this. He's like, man, he wouldn't let you get 20 minutes after the game before the media comes in, because you need to reflect. You're emotional, especially after a big loss or a big win.
Yeah, but I would do that with Clint Sterner. Well, his senior year, he played with a separated shoulder, and they'd numb it up before the game, and then they'd numb it up after the game. And the reason I know that is because Dean Weber would come over with the doctor at some point when he's just about ready to go get on the bus. And a lot of times I was sitting there, and Dean was like, Clay, you need to leave. And Clint would say, Clay, watch this. Just keep talking. He'd close his eyes for a second. They'd stick that needle right. He'd pull his shirt off. And, that needle went in deep for that shoulder. And I was like, okay, that kind of puts in perspective what these guys are going through to play. And you see, well, he missed a pass here, he missed a pass there. I mean, it might have hurt a little bit when he was throwing that pass. But I didn't really want to see that, but I think I saw it about 4 or 5 times that year.
Yeah. It's just, you don't get that.
Everybody was gone but me. Yeah.
Well, you go through a clubhouse and you see, what everything's left with the equipment, what the game's done to the equipment and everything. You really do get a sense of the physicality of the sport sometimes. It might not be the same in basketball, but in baseball, yeah, football, yeah. The thing that always stood out to me, and I had friends that played high school hockey, is there is an unmistakable hockey locker room smell that is just different from the others. And maybe I haven't been in enough football locker rooms, Matt, because I think it's the padding that does it. And it's got to be a very specific smell that sometimes
they
may
probably
actually
don't wash
creep in.
those pads, huh?
Yeah. Do they? I don't even know how you work those things. You spray some Febreze on that?
It's a football locker room. You're going to have a lot of fragrances, like a lot of different
body washes.
A lot of loofahs, a lot of guys that don't even believe in towels. It's like, it's football locker room is a sight to behold.
Yeah.
Most of them have belief in personal hygiene. Most of them.
They do.
There are some very interesting smells.
There's a mama or a girlfriend waiting for you, or a wife if you're in the NFL.
Or side piece.
Yeah, side piece. The
what do you mean?
A side
I
piece.
tell you the other. How do we get started on locker room smells and stuff? Is this my fault?
No, I don't. It's 11 minutes that we've gone from one thing to another to another to another.
What happens when the basketball team's
the other
1-6?
thing that you
That's right.
see up close and personal is the splints, the bandages, the cuts, the cuts across the face, dangling fingernails, they're getting taped up. There's some stuff that you see when you're up close after a game, and you see, the game pants laying there, white game pants that are just covered in blood. I mean, it's like, okay, this is that's not grass stain, that's a blood stain right there.
Two things that always stood out, speaking of interesting smells, in the old Travelers Clubhouse at Raywinder Field, which was overrun by cat colonies, is the only clubhouses in all of sports that smelled like cat piss. I mean, literally, both of these things smelled exactly
sprayed.
like a cat litter box. It's disgusting, and I like cats, so don't get me wrong about this. The other thing was, and it's not just at Raywinder, it was in most clubhouses back then, I always liked walking in to any clubhouse and seeing the two different pots of coffee, one that's leaded, one that's unleaded. The words were literally on there, and it did not mean caffeine, okay? They all had them. You would not have known that is going on unless you walked into those clubhouses, and it's not like that anymore. Brought to you by WT Equipment, your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment sales, parts, and service. From high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators, WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations and explore the value of New Holland tractors, or see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Got to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Call WT Equipment or come by one of their stores or check out their website, WTEquip.com. WT Equipment is your partner in progress. Quick break. Back with more halftime in just a moment.
This is halftime.
I wanted to find someone who would embrace Arkansas and the opportunities to build on a rich tradition that includes 22 conference titles, 14 Sweet 16 appearances, 11 Elite 8 appearances, 6 Final Fours, and a 1994 NCAA championship.
The head coach of your Arkansas Razorbacks, John Calipari.
Listen to every Razorback basketball game right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
The Capital One pre-approval sale has been extended at Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw. Troy, the weather a few weeks ago kind of derailed the sale, but you've got it extended now through the end of the month.
Yes, Capital One was nice enough, man. They worked with us, and they extended this sale until the end of this month, the 31st, which is on a Friday. So come and see us, Harry Robinson, Salisaw Ford. We pride ourselves in the prices and the deals that we give our customers. We want to make sure you get the best deal on a car, not just with us, not just with the price of the car.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit, is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football to NBA, college basketball to NHL and UFC, BetOnline is your number one sports betting source for the new year. From every touchdown to three-pointer and hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
In every generation, there are those who question the status quo. Questions like, why can't chicken be slow roasted? Why can't I have shredded purple cabbage? Why can't my quesadilla have cheese inside and out? And where's my avocado verde salsa? The new era of chicken is here to stay. The Cantina Chicken Menu, only at Taco Bell.
Nickels and dimes, memories and why she's on his mind once again. The same old stew, the same old fool, played by the rules but didn't win. There's an old love in his heart that he can't lose. He tried forgetting, but he knows that it's no use. He's got a good
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry with us as we take you up to 2 o'clock here on Halftime, 877-377-6963 to get with us. Guys, Bill Belichick has said today, and I don't know if he's joking about this or not, he thinks that the Lombardi Trophy should be renamed the Brady Trophy.
Maybe the AFC MVP could be called the Brady Trophy, but let's don't forget the past. Let's don't forget Lombardi. It's the Lombardi Trophy.
So I have no problem taking a name off of an award if that person maybe doesn't deserve to be remembered. You no longer refer to the MVP award. Used to be called the Kennesaw Mountain Landis Award, the first commissioner of baseball. Kennesaw Mountain Landis is one of the reasons that owners did not bring in African American players. He is one of the reasons that the color bar existed. So they've stopped referring to it with his name. That makes sense to me. What the heck did Vince Lombardi do to have his name taken off that trophy? Nothing.
Right. I think the Eastern Conference MVP is the Larry Bird Award. So I'm all about giving the best postseason quarterback in the history of the game some type of an award. I don't know if you make it an MVP award. What is the MVP of the Super Bowl called? Does that have another name? Like it does in basketball. But
I think it's just called the Super Bowl MVP. Yeah.
So yeah, you could do that with Tom. Who's won it the most? Has Tom Brady won it the most? But I could see AFC and NFC doing something like that.
I just don't think that Lombardi did anything to have his name taken off.
Same.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's somebody that show some respect for one of the greatest coaches of all time. It's okay.
So it's one of the greatest coaches of all time, if not the greatest, referring to one of the other ones that could be listed. Now, this would also be the same conversation about who's the greatest coach of all time. Because you have a lot of people that will probably still say Vince Lombardi.
Andy Reid wins this Super Bowl right here. Andy Reid, Belichick. I'd want to know what the matchup is. I guess the matchup probably goes to Belichick when in the head-to-heads. But I think Andy Reid's quietly becoming up there where you can't leave him off the Mount Rushmore of coaches.
You know, my thing about Belichick is that he wasn't a good head coach with the Browns, or at least his record didn't reflect that with the Browns. You know, they might have made one playoff berth then. And of course, the however many years with the Patriots stands for itself. But you're looking at Andy Reid, winningest coach in Philadelphia Eagles history. Never made it to the Super Bowl.
Maybe the Cardinals too.
But a pretty darn
look back.
Pretty darn good career there, right? So he's had two careers, one where you've had your heart broken in the Marty Schottenheimer sense, losing in the NFC Championship game, gosh, I think it was 3 times. And now, you know, the second act, the kind of act that Schottenheimer didn't have, which includes a generational run with a generational quarterback. So, you know, that's why I was talking earlier in the show, Clay, when Brian Schottenheimer was talking about his dad the other day. I can't help but think that Marty Schottenheimer may have been the greatest heartbreak coach in NFL history. 200 regular season wins, really good teams, Cleveland, Kansas City, San Diego. Got fired unceremoniously 1 year by Dan Snyder, but isn't in the Hall. There's 8 coaches in the NFL with 200 career regular season wins. Schottenheimer went exactly 200, but he's not in the Hall. He probably won't make it in.
Buffalo coach was that Marv Levy with
That's
Jim
right.
Kelly.
Yes.
There's a similar storyline with him. And Bud Grant, he finally broke through, right?
I don't remember if Grant. Yes,
same type deal.
He got in '94, so he was in while Levy was still coaching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you know, it's they measure so much by Super Bowl championships, and that's probably a little bit tough judgment. But
I think in this case, doesn't it feel like because Marv Levy lost 4 Super Bowls. Bud
right,
Grant lost 4 Super Bowls, but they got to the Super Bowl. Schottenheimer never did. You know, it's like you have to have, I guess, some modicum of playoff success. Maybe get to at least 1 Super Bowl, but outside, I bet you there probably is not a coach in Canton in Super Bowl history that didn't at least play for a Super Bowl championship. That's got to be the reason why.
What about, and this is changing sports, but the same kind of conversation, Bobby Cox in the Braves, they just got 1, right?
They had the 1, yeah. They had plenty. They had World Series visits more than the 1.
Championships or something like that.
I say like 11 pennants in a row or something.
Yeah. Yes, but he's a Hall of Famer in my mind. I mean, I don't know if he's in or not.
But
Maybe
without that one World Championship in '95, I don't know if
probably
he
would have
in.
made it. Yeah.
It's the same with Jim Leland. Leland, you know, wins a World Series with the '97 Marlins. Without that, I doubt he gets in. You got to have the 1, like Cowher. Cowher won 1 Super Bowl. Without that, probably doesn't get in. Got to have that kind of championship. We don't hold running backs to this standard. You know, you hold a lot of quarterbacks get held to this standard. Yeah. Absolutely, they do.
The second and third best receiver to ever play in the NFL never won a Super Bowl. I mean, Jerry Rice, he won 1, but the second and third never won 1. That's Calvin Johnson and Randy Moss. Calvin Johnson even had an 0-16 team that he played on. Nobody
and Moss had a 16-0 team.
Yeah, but nobody ever hates on the receivers. It's a quarterback deal. Nobody hates on those receivers or running backs. Barry Sanders is another one. He's a top 5 running back ever, and nobody. He never got close.
Yep.
If you were to think like what
Gale Sayers, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Marino's in the Hall of Fame, but only played in 1 Super Bowl. Like, this is the conversation you'll end up having when Rivers is eligible. It's the same as Dan Fouts. That to me is the better comp, just because Marino did play in the Super Bowl, and I thought Rivers was great, but there were other gunslingers about that time, and Marino was classed by himself in his era of that style of quarterback. But it's true. It's like you could probably find a list of a lot of, you know, great cornerbacks, defensive ends, running backs, wide receivers that never played in the Super Bowl but are in Canton. Not quarterbacks and not coaches.
Myles Garrett's going to be in Canton. Just because he plays for the Browns doesn't mean, he's one of the best defensive ends I've ever seen.
Joe Thomas, just on the very same
thing.
franchise. Great offensive lineman. Never even sniffed the Super Bowl, but he's going to be a first ballot guy. You got to win, I guess. They were saying it the other day, and I forget which game it was. It's the quarterback that it goes on his record. It really isn't. I know we keep quarterback records and everything, but that's unfair because they play half the game.
Joe Burrows has really been saddled with an average team of late, but man, he's not average. He's really put up some numbers and been in some shootouts, and it's like, well, they're going to score, but the other team's going to score faster.
Clay, there might only be one quarterback I'd take over Joe Burrow, and he's number 15. That you might be on. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that, but their defense has just been awful. He would like to play against their own defense, and he'd never say that, but he'd have some pretty incredible numbers that he's going against his defensive backs.
I love how you put that because I think it was the general manager of the Dodgers talking about all the pitchers that they've signed. I was like, well, our hitters are really happy. They don't have to face him right now. Joe Burrow would love to face his defense. I guess he does in practice, but nobody's keeping stats for that. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. Anytime you're craving something sweet and delicious, Andy's Frozen Custard has you covered with the greatest frozen treats around. These days I'm thinking about, the Snow Monster Boot Daddy Concrete. That's a mouthful, probably about 20 mouthfuls. Andy's vanilla or chocolate frozen custard blended with Oreo cream, caramel, and hot fudge. I'm drooling just thinking about it. It's Andy's Frozen Custard, Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith, East Oak Street, Dave Ward Drive in Conway, and JFK Boulevard in North Little Rock. Quick break on halftime and return after this.
This is halftime.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
If you live near Alex, Alma, Branch, Bloomer, Mountain Burg, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect Internet may be available to you right now. Wave is now serving a few non-member areas and adding more in the coming months. Check availability online. Sign up.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and Senior Vice President of Men's Sexual Health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Mark your calendars and save big at the Greater River Valley RV Show going on January 30th through February 2nd at Crabtree RV Center in Alma. Special show pricing and financing available on all units, new or used. Come and see our large inventory of industry-leading brands such as Grand Design and Forest River. Take advantage of the huge savings at the Greater River Valley RV Show at Crabtree RV Center, January 30th through February 2nd. Crabtree RV Center, making your family's dreams come true for over 70 years.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry with us, too. We were talking earlier about clubhouse access, locker room access for media, and when you get there and actually talk with the athlete that you'd like to talk with. This all stemmed from a writer spending 15 minutes watching Josh Allen stare off into the distance.
That's what started. Yeah, I couldn't remember how we got into that.
So, you get press conferences, everything is curated. Those are the players that at that point, like, well, all right, they have reason to go talk to you. So we'll give you X amount of minutes. It's not going to be conversation-based. It's going to be question and answer, and you get your cool-down period. But sometimes you get those really genuine moments in clubhouses, like Dustin Pedroia with a Boston reporter. I don't remember how long ago it was, but it's entertaining.
Is there a conversation that takes place after a game like this where it's kind of like what? Ugly? Oh, you show up tomorrow and you play your ass off. That's it.
Do you think there was any intent on that fastball to hit Betts?
Bro, I don't know. I'm more concerned that we're trying to play better baseball. If there was, would it be an issue? Can I go home? This is ridiculous, man. We're trying to play baseball and win games. I don't have time.
Can I go home? Bro, this is ridiculous. It's like that was better than anything he had said in the previous 25 seconds.
Frustration. That's what I mean. Emotional after a loss. Was there any intent in that? Would there be any problem if there was? Goodness. Is this days of our lives?
Sometimes there's beauty in a really bad question.
That's right.
I mean, it produces a really great answer. I've heard it happen, and they didn't deserve the answer they got because it was beautiful and it was priceless. And they the reporter that asked the question, he may not even be interested in that kind of an answer, but it was just beautiful, and it would be end up something that I wrote about. I'll give you a perfect example. David Lanier, who worked for the Times and was an odd dresser. I mean, he wore paisleys with stripes and polka dots with stripes.
A free spirit.
I mean, I don't know where he got his clothes. I mean, it could have been. It wasn't.
It was from the coaching catalog of Larry Brown in the 1970s.
And he's a reporter, and he had some of the most. He wore a tie to every game, and David had some ugly ties. And Arkansas and SMU, and you probably know where I'm going with this now that I've mentioned tie, but Arkansas and SMU tied that last game of the season, controversial pass interference, Horton Nestra. Nathan Jones got flagged for letting the guy run up his back, and that gave SMU a chance to tie the game. And they went for the tie instead of the win, which, that knocked him out of the championship. So we're in the locker room, and the game is played at Old Texas Stadium in Irving. And it's a nice locker room, and everybody went to Billy Ray Smith because he's a good quote. And David Lanier says, Billy Ray, there's some good ties and some bad ties. And how would you rank that game as far as good ties and bad ties? And he goes, oh, David. And he reached out and he picked up his tie and held it up for everybody to see. He said, this is a bad tie.
Because he had plenty of them to go to.
Oh, and I mean, everybody started laughing, and it just got louder and louder. There's like 10 reporters there, and all the players were like, what did Billy Ray just say? And the next thing you know, here comes a coach, a tie locker room is almost solemn. It's like a loss sometimes, because you didn't win. And it's like everybody's over here laughing, and it was a tie game. But it was just an unbelievable quote.
I used to think, Bill Valentine, you want to talk about some garish outfits. Somebody would comment on the suspenders he's wearing. It's like, wait until the summer when he comes in wearing suspenders with shorts and a long sleeve collared shirt. This will be very, very interesting if you show up at the right time. But this Pedroia thing's hilarious because you can see his eyes getting wider, and he just obviously looks completely annoyed. But these reporters keep pressing something that they want to turn into something, right? That's what you're getting at, Matt. You got to try to turn somebody getting hit by a pitch into a soap opera, and Pedroia is just not having it. Meanwhile, the Chiron shows that he went 0 for 4 that day, and the look on his face says he went 0 for 4 and they lost. Just get out of the clubhouse at that point.
I'm just trying to figure out how anybody beats the Dodgers this year. I just heard the name Mookie Betts. When Mookie Betts is like the third best player in all of baseball, and he's not even the best baseball player on your own team, man, get out of the way.
Freddie Freeman.
Well, and Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just up and down the lineup. So this is how the season will go. Be how they hold up injury wise, and Dave Roberts he's going to take care of that. He's got 6 starting pitchers, doesn't he? I mean, 6
I think they have more like 12.
Yeah, so he can
don't
really
have to pay him to 2032 though.
Yeah, they can take care of those pitchers. Make sure we don't. If he wants to pitch them on 5 days rest, he can. But it will be the Dodgers beating themselves. I don't think there's another team out there that can just line up and they got all their guys, we got all our guys, and we're gonna hammer them for a weekend. That ain't gonna happen.
So to go to that idea, something Matt had brought up earlier when Grant was complaining about the Cardinals being a bit of a wayward organization right now, and I was like, talk to me in another 28 years.
Right.
Like Alabama football fans complaining all of a sudden when they're not quite where they used to be. With the Dodgers, break out the biggest small violin in the history of music. Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner yesterday said it's just going to be very difficult to keep up spending the way that the Dodgers spend. Can we just appreciate the reality of this for a moment here? The team that literally invented spending millions of dollars more than everybody else is now being surpassed by other teams, and they just don't think they can keep up.
So the Yankees are the reason there's a luxury tax.
Yes, but the thing that I'm hoping for is the Dodgers become a thing that you eventually have a real salary cap and a salary floor for.
Correct. Yeah.
But I don't know if the players will go in that direction because it's still a very strong union. And, if you want to point to the idea of salary caps lead to parity, Let me introduce you to the National Football League right now, in which we are seeing something that's never happened before, and a team making 3 consecutive Super Bowls.
Still comes down to the guys that can coach and the guys that can evaluate talent.
And who's throwing the football.
Once you got a premier quarterback.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do not live in a world where I will feel sorry for the St. Louis Cardinals, for the Alabama Crimson Tide, for anything involving Ole Miss, for the New York Yankees, anything with the Yankees. I don't know if I've missed on a couple of things there.
Texas Longhorns.
There's a good one, too. Will not feel sorry for the Texas Longhorns today or any other day.
Ryan Day. And his 50 Shades of Men.
I was going to say, if the Just for Men stops working and all of a sudden he's got to have a little bit of gray. By the way, the gray looks good. I mean, it was
have a little salt and pepper. What's wrong with that?
I got lots of salt
little
and
wisdom.
pepper.
Yeah.
Chicks dig it.
You're not Ryan Gosling. Get over it, Ryan Day.
Exactly. Come on now. 877-377-6963 to get with you here. Yeah, that's right, Dan. A Yankees owner actually said, we can't keep up with the spending of somebody else. I mean, I think that belongs at the top of the heap it's not the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but I literally couldn't care any less.
When was the first time Clay went? Because didn't Notre Dame do this with scholarships back in the day? They would just go offer kids scholarships so somebody else went and get them, and then they put limits on the scholarships. Were they the first?
Yeah, there
to
was
do that?
some of that, and it was. I think Texas. Darrell Royal was really, really. There was a time in the '60s you brought in 45 high school players, 45, and then you'd run off half of them, and they'd end up at Arkansas Tech and UCA. It's like, well, we're wrong on that, but we just take them all, in state, and then be a little more selective out of state. And Texas was doing the same thing. Darrell Royal was signing 5 to 7 quarterbacks every year, and there was it's twofold the reasons. One is they're the best athlete on the field, in the high school game, and they can play other positions. They can play safety. Some of them play tight end. Some of them play wide receiver. Some of them play cornerback. I mean, they're the best athlete. And the other reason is, well, if he's coming here, he can sit on the bench, and he's not playing against me at Rice, SMU, TCU, and Baylor. I mean, it's just like we're gonna limit the quarterback pool because they'd end up having 25 on their roster over 4 years.
These are reasons why, and it's not just because those teams won championships. That other fans hate those teams because they take advantage of financial things where others might not be able to. The Yankees did that in the 50s. The reason the Major League Baseball draft came around is the Yankees and other rich teams could stockpile talent just by offering more money to high schoolers or college players because there wasn't a draft. You were just getting bonus money, and they had more money. So here it is. You got an ownership now that has taken advantage of the free agent era to be a dominant team and, having played in the World Series for the first time in, 13, 14 years, or maybe 15 years last season. But they've got this history of taking advantage of being the team in New York and being the winning team in New York and having more money than anybody else. So it's like, yes, I'm not even going to break out the smallest violin in the world. I'm going to throw it against the wall and say, pick that up and put it together and then play it yourself because they wouldn't know how to play it. I know I don't. Nothing. You never feel sorry for teams like that. But to answer your question, Matt, the Dodgers, Padres are pretty good in that division. The Braves are really good. The Mets look like they could be really good too. I think the National League is just kind of crazy good with some of the talent that's come in. But I think the Dodgers have an opportunity to break the record for single season wins. It's 116. And I think they could I'm not going to say easily get there, but I think they could definitely get there. And then hopefully lose the World Series if that happens.
They look like they have no weaknesses.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, there's one last thing I wanted to bring up on the baseball team here, and I brought it up earlier about the helmet communication that was just instituted throughout all of college football last year. Well, last baseball season was the first year that teams had the wristbands for offensive communication. And you remember Schlossnagle, the now Texas head coach, sort of implicated either an SEC team or other SEC teams that they were able to steal that information somehow. He never said who or how, but he said he must have thought something was happening about this. The SEC has now taken away this kind of non-signaling communication for their teams. So none of the SEC baseball teams will have this wristband that you saw the runners checking the signs. That's how you would communicate hit and run or anything like that for a batter or for a base runner. They got to go back to hand signals now, which will take a little bit more time, but it also feels like they've invested all this money into a signal system that they can't use anymore, while the rest of college baseball can use it. So they must have met. I know the athletic directors voted on this, Clay, but I don't know. Maybe somebody saw evidence of cheating.
They just didn't want to have to worry about it. It's like, okay, if you guys can't play within the rules, we're just going to take it away from you. But they still going to let the fielders have wristbands, and they're still going to let the pitcher have communication, an earpiece or something in their hat, so they speed up that process. But there's something to do with the hitters that they didn't like how it was going, and so they've taken that away. No
so
communication
back to the
with
signals.
hitters. Yeah.
Back to you better memorize those signals. you better
change them often.
Right.
You better change them often too. That's the key part, is the teams that leave the same signals and don't change their key. In other words, there's something that indicates what sign is the right sign.
Well, now my thing is, can the pitcher still use this? Because
that's the way I read the story that Matt
catcher
wrote.
Communicating to the pitcher the same way. So if they're worried about the offensive signs being sealing, what about the pitching signs? Are these not being communicated the same way?
Yeah, and if somebody's stealing that computer-wise or electronics, knowing what the pitcher's going to throw is just as devastating as being able to communicate with the hitters.
That was the whole sign stealing scandal in the trash cans and the Astros.
So here's what they're worried about, is that the dugout can signal to the hitter what the pitcher's going to throw because they've intercepted those communications. So they're going to eliminate that, but they're going to still let you talk to your pitcher, the way I understand it. That's the way I read the story that Matt wrote, Matt Jones, the sports writer Matt Jones.
The sports writer Matt Jones, that's right. He was with me last Friday.
The other Matt Jones.
Yes. Quick break on halftime. Want to remind you about our Hit That Line Now app, brought to you by Taco Bell. You can hear all of our shows. Not just audio, you can also watch the shows, download all the podcasts. It's free, it's easy to use, and it's available anywhere you get your apps. Hit That Line Now app, brought to you by Taco Bell, with the Cravings Value Menu. 10 items to choose from, each priced $3 or less. Back to wrap up halftime right after this.
This is Halftime.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Michelle Smallman here for the Capital One Venture X card. If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, you can earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn all of your purchases into extraordinary travel. And you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book through Capital One Travel. Plus, you'll get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, a
download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAVEL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card from other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio. Simon, what's going on post-Christmas?
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at wheelerpowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Try to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Hear that? It's the gentle sound of a waterfall on your hike. And if you were here, you'd take a deep breath of fresh air, if you weren't so winded. But you're not here. Because your self-care happens out on the road, riding your motorcycle protected by Progressive. And the bugs you wipe from your headlights are all the nature you need. So if you ride, see if you could save with Progressive, America's #1 motorcycle insurer. Get an online quote in as little as 3 minutes. All for the great indoors. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
We ask you download the Halftime Eastside Liquor podcast, and we'll have all of our conversation with Grant Hall, good chunk of our couple hours with Hall of Fame sports writer Clay Henry, and ask you visit Eastside Liquor at 9390 Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith. Call 479-452-7311. For Eastside Liquor, we appreciate them sponsoring our halftime podcast going on 3 years. I haven't been able to read the story about it yet, but Matt Jones does have a piece in Whole Hog right now about the new seating plan at Bud Walton Arena. So that is being released, and you know for sure with costs rising in college athletics, that I don't know if it's a matter of just ticket prices going up or just the donations that go along with them, but certainly is going to be a major topic of conversation over the next few days. And in the midst of a very disappointing basketball season, too, you're kind of hoping things would be a little different from right now, knowing that the plan would be announced, but you got to announce a plan at some point.
There's a few changes at Baum Walker, too, aren't there? I mean, is lot 99 now a pay lot? Is that the way I understand it?
Oh, I don't know what the parking. I just know they changed the numbers on the parking lot.
Yeah,
so.
I think 99 is a paid lot, and maybe it hadn't been in the past. But so, and boy, you need, the parking can be problematic for baseball now. I hate to say it, but it can be.
Yeah, it can, because people want to park and go into the game more so than before.
Well, when you have 12,000, it's just there's not enough room for cars.
Ruskin and Zach coming up in just a little bit, and then we got this deal at baseball tonight. So I'm interested to hear what Dave Van Horn has to say about the team. And always going to look at the facilities. That's always fun too. So be hosting the show in Fayetteville tomorrow. Matt, hope you have a great rest of the day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you got any soccer?
Champions
that's
League
on?
right now.
Yeah.
It's the last day of Champions League. Then they do the seeding. So there's a round robin. The old lady's going to take on Porto, which the special one used to be the coach of Porto the last time they won the Champions League. If you're a soccer fan, you know exactly who that is.
I do not know who that is, but at some point I may
Jose
figure it
Mourinho.
out. Okay. I think you've told me about him before. Just can't remember all the names.
I thought I knew, but I wasn't sure.
That was a fun show today, guys.
Good stuff. For Clay Henry, for Matt Jones, for Kristen Johnston, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for listening today. Back with you tomorrow. Now, get up, get out, and get better.